Yep. Hey, good afternoon, guys. Had some opportunities last week that we could have taken advantage of against Ohio. Unfortunately, we were not able to. We look up in the fourth quarter and 10-10 ball game, and then 13-10, and we have the ball in our hand, and one or two plays, ball doesn't bounce our way. We don't execute or capitalize on a couple opportunities that we had, and things don't go our way. So we're turning the page, and we're looking forward to taking on another really good East Division opponent in Miami, Ohio. Chuck Martin, been in the league a number of years. His teams are always talented, and this one is no different. You look at their roster top to bottom, a lot of experience, a lot of guys that have won a lot of games. Obviously, an unfortunate injury that has happened at their quarterback position, but credit to Coach Martin. He has kept his guys together and kept them playing hard and strong all the way through. When you look at them defensively, Miami, Ohio, it's impressive. Impressive what they've been able to do defensively. Their front is dominant. They're big, they're strong, they twist, they move, they stunt, they play heavy-handed. Just got a lot of respect for their front seven, and linebackers plug gaps. They know what they're doing. Secondary is long, they're athletic. They've been able to limit a lot of opponents. Just look at their common opponents that we've had with them and what their numbers look like. They have been able to really buy in week after week, limit opponents' yardage points, big plays. I know it's a credit to Coach Martin and his staff and the guys that they have and the way they play. Things have shifted for them, obviously, on the other side of the ball because quarterback has changed for them. But the identity of their offense hasn't changed. They're still a physical group. They still can make plays a little bit more on the ground, obviously, that the new quarterback has been playing. But they have the ability to push the ball down the field, and they've shown that, and they've been able to win close games. And I think it's a credit to their whole collective bunch, offense, defense, and special teams, that they've found ways to win. They've taken a lot of games into the fourth quarter and found ways to win. So we know we have a challenging team coming up. We got to go through all the process of getting ourselves prepared, traveling, all the things that Maction entails, and take on another very, very good football team here against Miami.
Given that your season is down to 2 games, how do you plan for the future, the last 2 games of the season, and looking ahead long-term?
Right. We really would like to the messaging we have to our team is, there's always a big picture, I guess I would say, process that's in place. But, our focus is really on like a Monday practice, a Tuesday practice, and how can we best position ourselves to be 1-0 on the road against a very good Miami team. And as all programs, when regular season and then postseason ends for everyone and things turn in recruiting and all the moving pieces that go into college football, we'll address things a day at a time as they pop up. We have a plan in place for a number of things, and but all of our energy and all of our focus and all of our work and effort that we're putting into this right now is how can we be 1-0 against Miami, and then we're going to come back on a short week and have a home game against Eastern Michigan, and we'll take it a day at a time.
Miami's always been pretty consistent. You've seen that over the years. They seem to have taken another step to maybe a different level, big non-conference win. Can you pinpoint anything in particular that's allowed them to go from being that very consistent winning team they always are to now a team that's at top of the top?
Right. I think it's a great point, Paul. I think like last year, they had to fight and get themselves into that bowl game, and they were able to do that. And I always think that those extra practices that you have with returning players always helps. Some of those close losses they had last year are now close wins this year. That 1 or 2 or 3 plays that you can emphasize over spring and summer and fall and kind of turn it into on-the-field success into actual games that you're playing. So, they're right there in the middle of it. I think you just look at the longevity of success that Coach Martin and his staff and that program has had over a long period of time. It's not a surprise in terms of where they are right now, but they don't beat themselves. They take care of the ball. They have a really good defense. They play sound on special teams, and those are all formulas to being successful.
How do you keep this team motivated going into this?
I just think we have a lot of maturity in our locker room. I think last week, we could have came against Ohio at home and said, I don't know, a number of things, I guess, of what people may say on the outside, but what I'm really proud of is the maturity in our locker room. These players know that they're going to continue to get every ounce of energy from our coaching staff, and I'm proud of our players that they've continued to give us every ounce of energy that they have. Again, 13-10 in the fourth quarter, we have an opportunity to win the game. We fall short, and there's a number of plays that we're going to be able to point to from this past season when it truly is, a play here or a play there. So I think the urgency and the intensity comes from you don't know what play is going to be the play that changes the game, so you got to treat them all the same way. And if we learned anything, I'm pretty sure we've learned that a play here or a play there could actually shift the game. And so I think the internal is the motivation is really internal for our group. If you're relying on external motivation right now this time of the year, then I think you're probably not in a really healthy space. We're going to continue with our process and our plan. We're going to get a great plan together, and we're going to put ourselves in a position to go be 1-0 at the end of the week.
Based on that, what ways do you go about getting your team to understand that it's
right.
that one or two plays? What's the process
right.
of trying to make your guys convince them to understand that first quarter play that did or didn't get make might be the difference at the end of the game? Right.
Well, I think knowledge is knowing something, and then wisdom is doing, right? And so we try to best. Okay, let's sit down. Let's watch it. All right, let's take ownership and accountability with every single piece. I start with myself. Hey, I would have, maybe would have had a call differently. This call different in this moment, and then we'll get to the on the film. Okay, hey, let's talk about this play. Let's talk about, sometimes as a player you look at an individual play and you think that we don't understand the derivative of plays sometimes, that how this one play can affect 5 other plays. We don't feel the kickoff return against Ohio. We start a drive on a 5-yard line that now turns into an offensive unit going out there with 95 yards to go. We go 3 and out. We punt the ball. They get a 5-yard return. They're now at the 39-yard line, and about 7 plays later, they're inside the goal line. So just short fields and the impact of one play and how it can have a ripple effect on other plays. You would like to think that the maturity that we have enough experience where guys will learn from them. But what life in football has always taught you, that you're always teaching, you're always trying to, teach the next right thing. And so this is no different. There were opportunities that were on film for us to take advantage of. At times we did, at times we didn't. The ones that we did not, we watch, we grow, we learn, we move forward together.
What's the goal or goals for this team in these final 2 weeks of the regular season?
Yep, find ways to get better. Find ways how can we, you look up and a very what I would say is a pretty good and explosive Ohio offense. We were able to hold them for I think 240 yards of total offense. And how do we do what we do and do it better? I think number one, if we're not growing every day, nothing stays the same in this game of football. You're either walking off the field a little bit better or a little bit worse, so we got to find ways to get better. I think from a non-on-the-field approach, I want to continue to enjoy every moment that I have with a number of seniors that we have in our locker room that have put their blood, sweat, and tears. We've had a number of guys that have been here a number of years. We've had guys that have come over that have only spent maybe a year or two here. But if you're an older player and it's one of your last weeks or week of college football, I want to enjoy the time with you. I want to continue to try to be the best leader that I can be for you, continue to teach you and grow and put you in a position to be successful. And then we have a number of younger guys that are playing extremely well for us, that are returning, that are learning. Everyone loves the start of things. Not everyone knows and learns how to finish. So be a guy that knows how to finish. Be an all-the-time guy. How do we, if I want to finish a game, I got to finish a meeting. I got to finish a practice. I got to finish a rep. I got to finish a day. I got to finish what I do in the classroom. Just adopt that mindset and that mentality. And if you can finish days consecutively over long periods of time, it can help you be successful. So there's a number of things we're teaching. There's a number of things we want to see. But we want to get our football team prepared to be 1-0 at the end of the week, and that's where the majority of our energy is.
In the same vein, what's the challenge this team faces in the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, I think anytime there's natural challenges, A, you're playing a very, very good football team. B, you're playing a very, very good football team on the road. I think anytime you don't have all the results that you want, you always got to keep the enemy on the other side. You got to keep the enemy out of your own head. So you got to always keep yourself in a good, healthy mental space. That's the challenge of all competitors in our game. I've had a ton of successful seasons. I've had non-successful seasons. The mindset is, how do we do the next right thing in the moment? I think the biggest challenge sometimes are doing the simple things right over a long period of time. And that's where some of the challenges lie when you don't have a result that you want. Is it time to change or turn into something different or do something different? No, we're going to take a Monday practice and we're going to try to maximize this day with you and find ways to get you better today. And then if God wakes us up tomorrow, we're going to take a Tuesday practice and we're going to take that day and get ourselves in a position where we felt like we had a really good day on that day. It is that hard and it is that simple. But the hard is in the simple, the hard is in the consistency.
The injury they had at quarterback takes them from one of the best passers in the conference to more of a running guy. How dramatic has the offensive shift been over, the last 2-3 games?
A year ago when we played Miami, it was a similar situation where this quarterback that we're playing against, we saw him a year ago. He's very talented, and I think it's a credit to their coaching staff that, they're two different types of players, but they're able to function within the offense with two different identities, two different play styles, if you will. So we've had experience seeing him. We got so much respect for what they're able to do. They although they're not passing at the rate that they would have, you still see an explosive offense. You still see an offense that can score in multiple ways. They can attack you on the perimeter. They got the quarterback run game going. The running back Amos is doing a phenomenal job. So this is still experienced group that's extremely explosive. I think their coaching staff has done a great job of just calming the water. New quarterback or different quarterback, not new for them, but still allowing them to be able to be functional.
Nick McMillan came back to the lineup last week. What did he bring back to the lineup, and what do you project?
Right, we're excited about Nick. We were excited when we were able to get Nick and make him a Buffalo Bull. He's a local, he's a native, he's from Buffalo, and it's been unfortunate that he's just been out. He had an injury and he was out, but you see the spark that he provided even coming back and being out, 4 or 5 last weeks and last games that we've had. So we know Nick can make plays with the ball in his hand. So we're going to continue to find ways to get our playmakers the ball, and Nick's no different. You look at young players like Nick and a Devin Grant. They're really close and really good friends, and the kind of young talent that we're able to, we got to develop them, we got to grow them, we got to continue to put those guys in a position to be successful. But we're excited that Nick is healthy and he's back and he's bouncing around with fresh legs and he'll be ready to go.
What was that like for him? What do you think you learned from that time off?
I think anytime, we talked about it, I think anytime you're away, I think, there's an appreciation that you can have, anything can get diminished over time. And I think sometimes when you step away as a player and you're chomping at the bits to want to be back in there and you cannot, maybe it sparks and grows an even deeper fire. I see my guys out there performing, I'm not able to be out there. And I think you saw some of that pour out of him against Ohio out on the field this past week. He's already a, positive, energetic, upbeat, strong-minded, type of player. But I think time away sometimes can spark flames, and it can fuel some fire that's in him that's already there. And I love that he was continued to be a good teammate, even though he was away, being out. Always in the middle of meetings, always present, and I think they're just lessons for him. I think we're going to get the best version of him moving forward. Excited to see him finish the season strong, finish strong in the classroom, and then turn the corner with him in the spring.
I want to ask you about another wide receiver. I don't know how much Victor Snow was on a lot of people's radars at the beginning of the season, but he's become an interesting player for you. Tell us a little bit about his story.
We're always looking. You go back to I think there's, our program, I think for a number of years, you go all the way back, even when I was here the first go around with Coach Quinn and even with Coach Leipold, and all the way through just the walk-ons that have been able to come through our program, find their path and be successful. You look like a Jake Mullinich, you look at Sean Dolak. I mean, we can go down the list. There's so many guys, and we're always having an eye out. Every recruit's path is a little different sometimes. We don't have unlimited scholarships. So sometimes a guy's path may be to walk on prove himself, take a very, very small job, and what I like to say is take a sledgehammer to that small job and crush it, and then now it can turn into 2 jobs, it can turn into 4 jobs. Victor has done that. You saw it starts with work ethic, it starts with effort, it starts with separating yourself from effort always sticks out on film. And then, okay, well, if you're a high effort guy, I think that you could probably be a high detail guy, so let's get you a job to do and see how you do in that job. You take that job, he does it well, and then it kind of grows from there. I think from our time here at Buffalo, I want to say 8 scholarship players that have been former walk-ons that we have awarded scholarships to. Some have been announced publicly, not all have been announced publicly, but we're going to always keep an eye out for young, talented guys, whether it's the state of New York or Ohio or adjacent states or Pennsylvania that want to come here. Tad Barr was awarded a scholarship. Guys that have the work ethic, have the drive, want to be a part of something great, and we'll make sure we recognize those guys and find ways to reward them. And Victor's working himself into a very good light in our program.
The 2 quarterback system you used against Ohio, is that going to continue against Miami?
I can't give away all the
secrets?
I mean, Coach Martin's a great coach. He's going to watch tape. He'll have a plan for both, and but we feel like we have to continue to maximize our ability to be successful on game day. And if there's something that a guy can do that can contribute to the cause of winning, let's find a way to implement it. Thanks, guys.